Greetings everyone. Welcome back to Blade Bias. We're back, baby, from Blade Show. Finally back. Finally not sick anymore. I might sound like it, but I don't feel like it. So I'm hoping that this little congestion that's making my voice sound weird will go away soon. But I'm back. I mean, I've been back for like a week now, but now I'm like actually back. Ready to start the nauseating amount of videos that I have to do over the course of the next month, which brings up a good point that the schedule for the videos coming soon is going to be a doozy. So if you're sitting back and wondering, hey, he covered that ballad song a while ago, why hasn't he followed up on that? I promise you, it's coming. I just have, in my opinion, slightly more exciting things to cover before then. So the schedule is going to be a little weird, but we will get everything out eventually, don't you worry. Including this video where I talk about my experience at Blade Show 2024, Blade Show East to be specific. It was incredible. But before we get into it, you might notice I'm flipping my Vault Pro again because I finally got the stuff back from Ty, which means that I have the Squiddy AL, which will be useful for the extrusion video, and I have my Orion 1.5 back, which is useful just so that I can try it again, because it just is incredible what LDY was able to do for $85 on that thing. But how was Blade Show itself? Guys, Blade Show itself was so killer this year. It was insane. I think most people are running around saying the best Blade Show yet. I would not disagree. Because all the stuff that I've ever done at Blade Show, a lot of like the really highlight stuff was outside the show. It was like, oh, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to go see this place or whatever. But this year, while I still do think that's true, some of the best stuff happens when you're hanging out with people outside the show. Inside the show had some phenomenal points too. Even just sitting and talking to people. Like I remember specifically that I, during BallyComp, couldn't really see that well, but because it was inside, I just sat in a flipping circle with, I believe it was Cream Soda, Jimpy, and one other person trying out Jimpy's prototypes, and it was just awesome. Jimpy he has some really cool prototypes to try out. Meeting people, like I met Den for the first time in person. That was crazy. I met a lot of the newer rising YouTubers. Talked to Buffness, Bear, Rob Heath, a lot of people in that kind of circle, which was really great. Den I'm going to mention again because that guy is so fucking funny in real life, and I love hanging out with Den, and I want to do it again. But then also seeing other people who, I've met before, but I haven't seen in a very long time. Pyro, Brandon, Ty even. It was just so sick. And obviously there are so many more names. Throw out a few more. Dalen, Martine, Grant, Will, Mint, Prism. There's so many names. So if I'm not saying you, I'm so sorry. Tay, Dasuko, there's so many. That's the problem with Blade Show, is a lot of people like to do the thing where they like tag the people that they talk to. But I feel like you can't do that because you're inevitably going to forget someone and then it's going to result in hurt feelings. Or it's just like there's so many people that I literally couldn't keep track of them, like no matter what. No matter if I was that close to all of them, I just couldn't have kept track of them. But it was so sick. So day one got a little bit of a late start because they finally, for the first year at Blade Show, decided to get the line in order. But getting the line in order meant that it went like a mile and a half away from the Galleria Center, which is where Blade Show is held, just out in the middle of nowhere to like some parking lot. So we had to walk all the way there. But since the line was moving fast enough, it was like a leisurely stroll out and then a leisurely stroll back in. And of course, you're seeing people in the line as they go. I met Remshi. I remember that because I remember seeing Remshi as we walked past in the line. That was great. Gosh, there's so much to talk about. How am I I'm gonna forget all of it. But we finally get in the show. We get to see everyone again. Hugs are had. Whatever. We did hang out at the pit day zero, so it wasn't like we were seeing everyone for the first time, but it was still something special to see everyone again and get reacquainted and hang out. I brought up Remshi just now. Met him, super cool guy. I mention it a bit, but I've been playing Valorant with him for the better part of the last year. Not so much anymore because I utterly despise Valorant and wish I didn't have to play it, but it's like the only game that group plays together. And I want to still hang out with those guys, so I play it with him, but he had some phenomenal prototypes showing them off at Blade Show, including my new favorite one, the Shino, which was just so sick. It was very, very cool to meet you in person, Remshi. Especially having the Kuno prototype for so long, because the Kuno production does feel like genuinely different. You can feel kind of where the improvements were made. But yeah, day one was really hectic. I remember wanting to beeline to MachineWise to check out the Totori and the Sasori, you know, the future of MachineWise, the thing that I had been so nervous about for like a month now. But it took me like, gosh, I don't think I got over into that table until like 5 p.m. That's at least when I remember I have footage. I've got the most footage of any Blade show that I've ever done this year. Just because I didn't come in with a plan other than to just record what I thought would be cool to show you guys. Which means that I was just kind of run and gun vlogging the whole time, which means that I was more active and more intent on getting clips than I have been ever before. Because before it was like, oh, I have to do an interview. I got to find a person for an interview. It's going to take a while. This time I was just like, I'm hanging out with people. I'm going to whip my camera out and just start recording, which I've never really done before, but it worked out really, really well. Because not only did I get to enjoy the show, but I now come home with hours of footage that I can edit down into a video to show you guys what Blade Show was truly like, which was sick. But I spend like an hour trying to get across the show floor, because you get stopped to have a conversation here, and then that becomes a circle, and then you finally leave, but then you get stopped by someone else. And then, oh, hey, there's this maker that has a table. What the fuck? Zippy has a table. Holy cow, I got to stop and see that. So I finally make it to MachineWise, and I try the new stuff out, and it's weird. You guys have already seen the video that I did in the Totori that Martine and Dalen were so kind enough to let me borrow overnight from day 2 to day 3. No. From day 1 to day 2, they were so kind to let me do that. And I realized that, yes, the Sliff T, I think, is properly replaced. I like the Totori much more. It's rounder, it's neutral. You can go watch that video if you want to hear my full thoughts there. But the Sasori had me in a trance basically the entire day of day 1. If I'm in anyone's footage in day 1, there is a good chance I'm flipping a Sasori or a Prisma Pro and just staring off into the distance, because it genuinely took me off guard. Not only how much I enjoyed it, but how different it was from the Prisma Pro, and how much it took me to figure out if I truly did like it better than the Prisma Pro. Answer that I don't even think I've figured out to this day, which, you know, is crazy. But yeah, day 1 was just kind of like, let's talk to people, maybe try some stuff. I made it to Squid's booth. I made it to MachineWise's booth, and that was basically it. It was time to go to the pit. The pit is great as usual. And also over the weekend, I was helping Ty as much as I could, not very much. Like, I'm not trying to say that I was very influential in this process, but Ty had a pretty big idea for a Blade Show video, and one that I have been excited about since he told me about it a few months ago. So I was trying to help him plan stuff or film stuff or whatever, figure out what he needed to do to make that happen, which kind of happened every so often. I remember one time we sat down outside to get some ideas together for that, and then, as is the nature of Blade Show, eventually people came and sat with us, and it just became a flipping circle. So that's kind of what Blade Show is like, in case you're wondering. But day 1 was in the books. I can't remember if there was anything really crazy that happened the rest of day one. I don't think so, because day one's the day that I recorded the least of. I was just trying to focus on the experience, get to know everyone without shoving a camera in their face. Because like I said, it was my first time meeting so many of these people. Anyway, so day one's over. Day two happens. I'm focusing a lot more on getting to booths, getting a bit of B-roll of stuff. This is the day that I really spent at Squid's booth because, as happened last year, Squid hid like 4 different prototypes from us until the second day. Or maybe they were there the first day and I just didn't get to see them. That is very possible, but this is when I saw them. Not only are we getting a collaboration between ProTech and Squid, which is one of the worst flipping squid, no, not even, the single worst flipping squid balisong I've ever touched in my life, but we also got a new Kraken blade yet again, a dual edge Kraken blade in collaboration with Flightanium, but also trying out all the new stuff that they had, the Squiddy XL, the Mako V5. If you guys want more detailed thoughts on every maker's booth at Blade Show, let me know. Would be more than happy to release a video just talking about Squid's booth, what I thought of all their stuff, machine-wise, whatever. EPS was a big one, but I didn't get to them till day 3. I also went over to see Grant. Grant had a really cool idea where he had a box of combos, and if you did the combo in one try, he gave you like this really cool challenge coin. Unfortunately, I failed because I got the same exact combo that I helped Ty try to figure out. And we both couldn't figure it out, so that was cool. But that was a super, super sick idea by Grant, which was just like it's just cool. Like, make this into a little bit more of like a cool thing for people to come visit your booth for, because not everyone is there to spend money, you know? So any chance that people can get to interact with you, I think, is fantastic, which is really great with the balisong community because the makers are so down to earth and so chill. You can just talk to most of them. You don't have to bring money to Blade Show to have a good time because you can just talk to people and have a good time that way. But speaking of money spent, I wasn't planning on buying any knives this year. But I wanted to buy something. I made it a tradition to at least buy something every year at Blade Show. I bought my Provoke trainer last year. I got the Damascus Kraken the first year. And this year I got this, the Simple Stock Squid hoodie, which I'm not going to do a bonus bias on a piece of clothing because I think that's a little goofy, but dude, this is well embroidered, well designed, comfortable fucking hoodie for $55. That isn't even that bad. Like, you pay $60 for a shitty, like, printed on thing that's gonna fade. I'm pretty sure the merch that I ordered, I have like a hoodie that's like a camaroEE design that I ordered just as like a test to see how good it would last. I think I paid like $45 for that, and it's already fading not even a year after I bought it. This thing is fully embroidered. I'll pay $10 extra for that. Goddamn, Simple Stock. That's pretty cool. So the Simple Stock stuff was pretty fire. Picked one of those up. I also picked up the Squiddy bag from Squid Industries, which has like 6 balisong pockets on the inside, just as like a mobile case. Because like sometimes I don't want to bring around my 10 balisong case. Certainly not my 64 balisong case. That thing was a nightmare to lug around all weekend. Oh my gosh, my shoulder hurt so badly. The foam was falling apart. I'm going to make a whole follow-up video on that case because it pissed me off, but it was also really, really good. But yeah, just like a little mobile case. Like, I'm going to bring around 6 balisongs with me to just flip whenever I want if I go to like a little get-together or like a little party or something. Like, that's sick. That's pretty cool. I love stuff like that. Because my EDC bag right now is like not much bigger. Like, obviously this is going to hold a lot more stuff. Like, this isn't going to carry my camera, my wallet, my keys, all that stuff. But 6 balisongs. Can't argue with that. So that was the stuff that I got. It was pretty cool. I really like it. My little apparel, my Squid Industries drip. For as little squid stuff that I own, and the only squid stuff that I do own, I bought off the secondhand market. Oh, wait, no, that's not true. My Damascus Kraken, whatever. For as little squid stuff as I do own, I sure rep their brand a lot. Their brand is very strong. Anyway, How long is this video at this point? Oh my gosh, I couldn't even guess. But day 2 was great. Did a little more filming that day, talked to a few people. Ballycomp happened day 2. Ballycomp was inside. It was so nice not being shoved as an afterthought in a tent in the parking lot. Oh my gosh, you have no idea how good that felt. Because last year, we're in a tent in the parking lot. We're an afterthought. Blade HQ doesn't give shit about us. We didn't even fit under the tent. There were people standing outside. It was like 80, 90 degrees. It sucked. This year, I wore this hoodie to Ballycomp and I wasn't hot whatsoever. It was so nice. Oh, it was so nice. What wasn't nice is the fact that I was basically talking to people all Ballycomp instead of watching it, which is a little disappointing because there are quite a few opinions about the judging of Ballycomp this year. Quite a few. One specifically that I know I've heard, like, I think Sam on the Job Flips came over to me immediately after it happened, was like, I can't believe this just happened. Pyro apparently had a round where he, from the audience's perspective, should have won, but he didn't. I'm not going to comment because I haven't seen the rounds. I'm waiting for them to upload the full, like, replay on YouTube so I can go through and watch it and then make my own judgment on what I think of the judging of it myself. But I have not heard many happy people about it, which it does make me wonder if there's anything that could be done to improve Ballycomp at all, because I feel like every year it's the same thing. They get judges that people are like, hey, I'm excited to see this person judging, and then they make calls that the community doesn't agree with and the community gets mad about it. I don't really know if there's a way to fix that. I don't think you can fix that, but it'd be really, really cool if someone could. Anyway, Ballycomp day 2. Moving on to day 3. What happened day 3? Day 3 was a short day. So I was rooming with Ty's girlfriend, Tay Flipper, and Desuko. We were all together in an Airbnb, and that was great. I think we got there like an hour late on day 3. I don't think we got there a single day on time, which was a little disappointing to me, but I am not the majority in the Airbnb, and I wasn't the driver, so there's nothing I could really do about that. But day 3 was just kind of like the, holy shit, there's only 4 hours left. I have so much to do. Shit, you know? And it's also kind of that sadness of like, I'm going to have to say goodbye to so many of these people who are driving home tonight. But Bite Handle Rave was also there to look forward to. So the end of the show came, which that was the day, I should say, I went to the main room and looked around a tiny bit. The main room I always want to go to the main room and look around at knives, but I just never do. It always ends up being the last thing I do like an hour before the show ends, and that's always sad for me. But like, what's more sad, not going to the main show or like getting less time with the Balisong community? I don't know. But yeah, went to the main room. They had like an engraving machine in there that they let people engrave for. I got something engraved. That was pretty cool. And then I made a beeline to EPS because I didn't make it to EPS at all the entire show. And he had some really cool prototype of this like dual channel thing. Super sick stuff. Again, if you want me to go more in depth on the different makers booths, I will in a future video, but this video is by far already long enough, I think, so we won't do that here. But EPS, super sick stuff. Also want to shout out Zippy, was super sick. It was nice to see Hybel there, even though he has kind of moved on from the Balisong stuff a little bit. It was nice to see him have a booth with some Balisongs made. Grant had some pretty cool stuff. Finally got to try the new Medusa, which is like way more expensive, but I've heard people say they can understand why it's more expensive now that they've tried it. And then that was the end of the show, and that would have been sad if we didn't have the Bite Handle Rave to look forward to. Now, the Bite Handle Rave, let's be real. Here's a rave. Like, the Balisong community, I'm not going to say we're the most socially outgoing people, a lot of us. I think that's a fair assessment. So you put people like that in a rave situation, including myself. My plan for the rave was to put in some earplugs and kind of sit in the corner because it's really not my thing to go to a place where you're surrounded by people with really loud music. You can't hear yourself think for like hours on end. Not my idea of a good time. But the crowd was also a huge question mark. Was this going to be just like the close friends that were at Blade Show? Like the people who roomed with Dasuko, the people who were friends with Dasuko and Will? Like, was it just going to be like a hangout with them? Were 40 people going to show up? Like, we had no idea. And it was this huge question mark. And the Balisong community just crushed it, man. I think over 60 people ended up attending in total. The music was great. I found myself out on the dance floor actually just like not dancing because I don't think I could call what I was doing dancing, but I was doing something. Flipping with everyone and having like they had like plastic Balisongs only on like the hardwood floor, but then they had like a flipping corner, which I didn't even spend my time in, which is crazy. I thought I would have spent my entire night there. But it was fantastic. I'm sure you've seen the videos online, or maybe you went there yourself. It was so much fun. I hope that happens every single year. That is just the most annoying thing that could ever happen. Come on over here, buddy. You're going over there now. Lost my train of thought. Right. It was so much fun. I was like actually enjoying myself when it ended. I was not like, oh my God, I need to go home and sleep immediately. I was like, damn, that was pretty fun and I could go for a little longer maybe. That was pretty cool. I found myself passing out a lot of my plastic Balisongs across the floor because not everyone had them, which did result in a few casualties. We'll get to the palette when I do my follow-up video on it, but they actually held up really well. This thing survived in its entirety, so cool stuff. But yeah, Dasuko and Will crushed it. It was such a fun event, and just the perfect way to wrap up Blade Show. Now, that wasn't the last day that we were there. We didn't leave until Tuesday night, but that's all that really I would be putting into a recap video. So, now, God, how long is this video? 30 minutes, maybe? If you made it this far, you know the drill. Smiley face in the comment, so that I know if people actually want me to release videos that are this long with me rambling this much, or if I should re-record and try and make it less than 10 minutes like I usually do. Anyway, it was so crazy this year. Easily the best year. So many cool people to talk to. So many cool content creators to hang out with, so many cool makers to talk to and see their new stuff. I really do think that this trip, for me and so many other people that I talk to, completely revitalized my interest in the hobby. Since I got home, I have not put my Balisongs down. I've been doing tricks and trying. You can see this this thing that I've been doing. I came up with that last night. I didn't come up with it, but I figured out how to do it last night. That's been really fun. I've been focusing a lot more on like flipping and just being a little more flowy, which again is probably not going to show up in the blade bias stuff, since right now is what I'm flipping on muscle memory, and a lot of the new stuff I've been doing is not in my muscle memory yet. But I've been really excited to like actually properly get good at flipping, learning new stuff. I'm trying to get the cat down still to this day. Yes, I know. But like randomly at Blade Show, I would try and go for a cat and I would just land one, like just once, and then I wouldn't be able to do it again. But like I would just throw one and land it. And it was like, damn, I need to learn how to do this consistently. But yeah, it revitalized so much of my interest in the hobby, in flipping, in video making, all of that. I actually have footage to put together for a main channel video. I have like very loose plans to maybe do some more main channel videos before summer ends. It's a pretty good time to be a Balisong flipper, even though it hasn't really felt that way a lot the past year. Blade Show really brought it back, I feel like, for a lot of people. So I'm super excited. If I met you at Blade Show, it was amazing talking to you. Thank you so much for coming up and saying hi. I really appreciate it. There were a lot of people who came up and said hi, or like their parents got pictures of us, and it's so cool to be reminded that I guess like I do like I'm that kind of person for someone. Like it's just because it's weird for me to think about because I always see myself as just a guy. I'm just a guy, but like I'm just a guy that people want to talk to and get pictures with at Blade Show, which is just so crazy to see. So thank you to everyone I had a conversation to. I really enjoyed meeting and talking to all of you. Thank you for coming up. I didn't receive a message this year that said I was too scared to meet you, which I'm so happy about. I think it's the first year that that's happened. Hopefully I didn't jinx it, but I'm going to end this absolute monster of a video, which is going to take 6 hours to upload. Thank you all for watching. Thank you so much to everyone I talked to at Blade Show. Thank you to all the makers. Thank you to everyone who ran an event, Dasuko, Will. Thank you to everyone who hosted me or had lunch with me or whatever we did. I really enjoyed it, and I want to see all of you again. I don't want to wait another year to see Denden and Pyro and Brandon and Dasuko and Tay. I don't want to wait another year to see all those guys again. It's going to be sad. Anyway, I have so many videos to go record, so I'm going to go do that. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Actually, when I picked up this bag, it felt pretty heavy. There's something in here. Oh my God.